Did you know there's a hidden reason behind that urge to put things off, an internal mechanism that subtly but powerfully sabotages your plans? And what if I told you there's a scientific reason for this procrastination? Maybe you found yourself stuck in a routine, starting the day with big plans only to end it by putting off the essentials. The pain is real, but few talk openly about it, that feeling of watching the days slip by without moving closer to what truly matters. In his TED Talk, Tim Urban uncovers the dark secrets that dwell within the mind of a chronic procrastinator. In this video, we're going to dive deep into these concepts and uncover what really happens when the instant gratification monkey takes control. Get ready to explore the reasons behind so many delayed projects, sidelined dreams, and the internal battle that many face without fully understanding it. If you're tired of seeing yourself caught in cycles of procrastination, here's your key to breaking free. Curious? Then stick with me as we unlock these eye-opening insights. The procrastinator's journey. Tim Urban, like many of us, was a student who constantly put things off. He shares how, in college, he would spend days in pure procrastination mode, only truly waking up on the eve of deadlines, when he had no choice but to pull an all-nighter in sheer desperation. Can you picture yourself in that situation? Many people can relate. It's that I'll do it later mindset that builds up until you suddenly realize time is no longer on your side. And maybe you, reading this now, have been there too. If so, leave a comment and share your experience. It helps remind us we're not alone in this. What you might not realize is that this habit of delaying doesn't just appear out of nowhere. Instead, as Urban explains, it's part of a mental cycle common to many. It's as if your brain decides to give you an instant break from obligations and responsibilities. And what do? You get caught up, scrolling online, convincing yourself you'll start in just a bit. But that just a bit quickly turns into late at night. Then, when the last minute finally arrives, it's as if an internal alarm goes off, shouting, "It's now or never." Sound familiar? If it does, give a like and subscribe to dive deeper into insights like these. The procrastinator's mind. Tim Urban introduces us to a brilliant metaphor for what goes on in a procrastinator's mind, the notorious instant gratification monkey. This monkey loves things that bring immediate pleasure: social media, TV series, that quick game on your phone. It makes us trade what we should be doing for what we want to do right now. So, just as you're about to start an important task, the monkey pulls you towards something way more fun and easy, and before you know it, minutes turn into hours. Sound familiar? If so, you know this mischievous monkey all too well. But here's the secret: the monkey isn't actually that powerful, it's just clever. There's a way to tame it. Instead of fighting against it, why not trick it? Try starting with something small, a quick task that only takes 5 minutes. This little trick makes the monkey lose interest, allowing your focused mind to take over and build momentum without big distractions. Give this technique a try and see if it works for you. And drop a comment if you've ever tried something like this before. The panic monster. When everything seems lost and the deadline is practically here, and comes the infamous panic monster. This monster is the only thing that can scare the instant gratification monkey enough to put us back on track because it brings an intense sense of urgency. It's that gut-wrenching feeling that makes you drop everything and focus solely on what needs to be done. Tim Urban describes this moment as a burst of focused energy. The problem is, without the panic, procrastination takes over. Have you ever felt that last-minute panic? If so, share your experience in the comments. But here's the question: do we really need to wait for this panic to take action? Is there a way to trigger that drive without diving into desperation? One trick is to set personal deadlines and smaller goals to fool our minds, creating a mini deadline before the official one. Try setting up mini panic bursts throughout the week, like quick, short goals, and notice how your monkey starts to quiet down. Give this technique a try and let me know in the comments how it worked for you. Who knows, you might just discover a new rhythm of productivity. Long-term procrastination. And what about procrastination without a deadline? Tim Urban explains that this is one of the most dangerous types of procrastination because the effects aren't immediately visible but accumulate over the years. Dreams, like a new career, personal projects, or even lifestyle changes, end up being postponed indefinitely simply because there's no panic monster to remind us of the urgency. Have you ever put something off without a set deadline? Maybe a long-term plan, that goal you keep pushing to next year. If so, then you're familiar with this type of procrastination. To start breaking through this barrier, try visualizing the consequences of never taking action. Think about the lost time and the missed opportunities slipping through your fingers. A helpful trick is to create an imaginary deadline for these personal goals. Pick a date, share it with someone you trust, or even create a vision board to keep this fake deadline in sight. Give it a try and see if it helps you take the first step. If you found this helpful, subscribe and drop a comment about which long-term project you're finally ready to bring to life. Life calendar. Urban introduces a concept he calls the life calendar, a visual representation of the weeks in an average lifespan. When you look at this calendar, you realize that the weeks are limited, and suddenly, time takes on a whole new weight. Each week that passes is a little box you'll never get back. And that realization changes everything. Imagine each week as an opportunity to live fully, or as a chance wasted. It's a wake-up call, isn't it? Maybe it's the push you needed to start taking action right now. This life calendar reminds us of the urgency to make things happen, to truly make the most of the time we have. Think about a dream or project you keep putting off and picture it as one of those little boxes on the calendar. What's the next step you can take? What truly deserves your time? If you want to share this insight, drop a comment, and of course, subscribe to keep following along for more reflections that will help you turn each of these weeks into something meaningful. Now that you understand what goes on inside the mind of a procrastinator, what's your next move? Will you let the instant gratification monkey stay in control, or will you finally take charge of your decisions? Think about your most important goals, the ones you keep putting off, and ask yourself, are you willing to let another box slip by on your life calendar? Maybe it's time to take that first step and turn ideas into concrete actions. So, are you ready for the challenge? Share in the comments what you're ready to start, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to keep up with more insights that will help you beat procrastination and live a life with more purpose. The change starts here and now. What will you do with this chance?